Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Welcome to the Headmaster's Diary of fascinating and enjoyable stories and lessons. We live in a world that it is hard to imagine, especially for my generation. Back when I was younger, the internet was prevalent, but not to this extent. Back then we had a thing called dial-up internet. Your fathers and mothers may be laughing at this point in time. It was so slow that not many accessed the internet unless they really needed to. Now, high-speed internet is all the rage and it's getting faster by the day. It has become so entangled in our lives that parents may turn the Wi-Fi off as a punishment for slacking off on homework or chores. Wi-Fi is your new oxygen. You can't imagine living without it, can you? Well, whilst it is a life support to some, it can equally be the downfall of you. It is very encouraging to see that so many viewers have joined their favorite Islamic channel or sheikh or shuyukh on social media. In many ways, the internet is a double-edged sword. We can gain an immense number of benefits from the internet. However, there are also numerous downsides to using the internet. Thankfully, we can benefit from the internet while avoiding the detrimental aspects of it. In order to achieve this, one needs to be familiar with all its pros and cons. As Muslims, we need to be aware of how the internet impacts the Muslim society from an Islamic perspective. Ultimately, the internet can be a force for good or for evil. It depends on how one chooses to use it. The internet contains many free resources for those who want to learn something, mashallah. Muslims can gain an in-depth understanding from the various Islamic websites that convey its authentic teachings. We must, however, take care only to take Islamic knowledge from trustworthy sources online. The internet can be particularly helpful for Muslim reverts who are seeking knowledge of Islam. Moreover, Muslims who reside in non-Muslim countries might find it challenging to access Islamic material. They can overcome this obstacle by utilizing the internet to acquire Islamic knowledge. It is also possible to take online courses for Islamic studies. However, excessive usage of the internet often leads to addiction. An addiction of the internet is a particularly pressing issue in the case of those who get addicted to social media. People can often be seen sitting beside others but using their smartphones rather than interacting with those who are next to them. Such antisocial behavior is unhealthy for society. The internet makes all sorts of indecent and obscene content readily available. Astaghfirullah. Since people from all over the world with all kinds of beliefs and lifestyles are using the internet and posting all sorts of content on it, there is no shortage of vulgarity to be found online, whether it is on social media sites or video hosting sites. Vulgar content is amongst the greatest drawbacks of using the internet and something that Muslims have to avoid carefully. This topic must be further researched and explored by all of you, as there are so many other advantages and disadvantages that I will not be able to cover it all in this short episode. Parents particularly should take special care not to allow their children to view problematic content on the internet. Believers should always remember that just as good things exist on the internet, there is also evil out there. We should never forget that Allah is watching us and that we will eventually be held accountable for both our online and offline activities. Therefore, we should stay away from indecent content online and teach our children to avoid such material. The best advice that I could give is to remember that Allah knows all and sees all. So you may be able to delete and hide your viewing history, but it will be known by our Creator. May Allah change our lives for the better, and may He continue to bless you and your family and grant us all Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.